Whoa, Dark Magician got a Dragon Knight card. I'm actually really interested in checking this out because I know it's going to be hype. But let's go and check it out, guys. We've got a bunch of other new Yu-Gi-Oh cards to check out. But anyways, Dark Magician and one Dragon Monster are the material requirements for it. And this card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or into the graveyard. Your opponent cannot target spells and traps you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. That's actually pretty cool. However, I feel like people just bounce back in because Stella is still a very relevant card in the game. Firewall Dragon, a pretty good card as well. But, I mean, a little bit interesting. I think this is more of a fan servicey card than an actual good meta card. And, anyways, next up, there's another Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Now, the picture is really low as far as quality on here, so I could zoom up on it to read the effect, but it's still kind of fuzzy, so I'm just going to read the effect over here. So this is the new Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. So it's a new level 10 Dark Machine type fusion effect monster. It's got 0 attack and 0 defense. Its materials are 1 Cyber Dragon monster and 1+ monsters in the extra monster zone. Anyways, it cannot be used as fusion material. It must be first special summon from your extract by sending the above cards from either your field to the graveyard. Either from the field or either field to the graveyard. So that means your opponent's stuff, I'm guessing. And it says you don't even use polymerization, which could be pretty good. And it says the original attack of this card becomes 1200 times the number of fusion materials used for its summon. That's actually pretty insane. I mean, this could be the answer to some of those really, really hard boards to break. And again, you could make this really easy as long as your opponent has an extra monster in the extra monster zone. This is crazy. Do you know how much hype this will be in the Link era if your opponent goes for the whole Link combination where it completes everything? That would be pretty cool. That is amazing because it says from either field, and it's just, that's a really easy requirement. I think that is going to be crazy. I think a lot of people will be playing Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Just run it in every deck. This card is definitely, in my personal opinion, going to be a staple in every single deck that is a Cyber Dragon deck. Now, I want to ask this question to you guys. Would you side deck, Cyber Dragons with this? Because I think it's very good. At the moment, with machines, ABCs, I mean, if you happen to have stuff, obviously they're just going to chain their stuff. But I think with this card, it's really easy to just have Cyber Dragon in the side deck and just throw it down. It's good against any machine deck, obviously, even the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. But I think this card is insane. I want to say it's going to be definitely a potential staple in the side deck. Again, it's just too amazing. Your opponent makes a huge board, psych, it's gone. That is really cool. But anyways, next up we have a new artifact card over here. It's Artifact Mjolnir. So obviously I can't read Japanese. I can read a few kanji, but yeah, my kanji is pretty bad. So I'm going to read its effect over here via the organization. Anyway, so Artifact Mjolnir is a light fairy level 5, just like all the artifacts pretty much are. 1300 attack, 1800 defense points. Anyways, you can only use this card's named third effect once per turn. So the first effect is you can set it just like you can the rest of the artifact cards. The second effect is during your opponent's turn, if this set card is destroyed in the spell and trap zone and sent to your graveyard, you special summon it. But the third effect, which is what we're here for, if this card is special summoned and during your opponent's turn, target one artifact monster in your graveyard and special summon in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters until the end of the next turn, except for artifact monsters. So, a huge downside with that. If that third part was not there, I would be more interested in this card. However, I feel like even though they kind of want artifacts to be its own archetype, I think it's more of a tech archetype that you mix in with other things, and you ruin the spicy splash of the artifact tech with the thing where you can only go for artifacts. I don't know, you guys can let me know. Any artifact players out there, would you even bother playing this? Again, I just think that because of that, where you can only summon artifacts until the end of the next turn, it's just, I don't like that part. But anyways, we got some other cards to check out. We got two new cards over here. Let me go ahead and zoom up on the picture. So one of them is a new monster, and one of them is a new counter trap card. So anyways, the monster's effect, which his name, well, as of right now, it might get changed in the TCG, but electronic transsimulation Watt Kinesis. What is important though, which I saw people talking about, is this apparently counts as a Watt monster. So you can actually search this card out. But anyways, it's a new light psychic with 1800 attack, 0 defense, and it's got a quick effect that you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and target one monster your opponent controls, move it to another of your opponent's available main monster zone. So that can completely destroy some decks that are very heavily oriented around Link summons. However, they still have that monster, and if they still summon something else, they can go into another Link monster. I don't know. I still think it has a lot of potential against certain decks. Definitely be a good card because it can definitely stop your opponent's big plays when they're going all in, and they're obviously pretty invested into that play already. Let me know, guys, how you feel about this. I almost feel like it could be a staple against certain decks perhaps in the future if certain things get popular. If you guys haven't seen, OCG's maxing out on so many hand traps now. It's like it's main decking Droll and Lockbirds. Well, that's to deal with spirals also, but anyways, it's also main decking Ash Blossom. There's a lot of main deck hand traps. This one, it could stop against some of these heavy Link combo decks, like Spirals or anything in the future, Weathery. Yeah, like I said, it just could stop a lot of different decks. But anyways, next up we have the counter trap card over here, which is the picture on the right. Its name is Critical Timing. So it's a counter trap card that's basically like Retort. But anyways, when your opponent activates a spell or trap or a monster effect with the same name as a card in their graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So one problem with this card is it still keeps the card there. I wish it like banished it, because a lot of cards, when they're activating, if you negate it and it's in the graveyard and it can just activate itself again, what's the big deal, right? That's a problem, obviously. Some of them will be banishing itself as a cost, but other cards will not do that. I'm talking about you, Vayu, but I know Vayu's not the most meta thing, but there are, like I said, certain cards that would be, you know, in the graveyard, and they would try to activate and you can stop them. So I think that that is kind of good, because it does stop the activation. But again, some cards, they can just activate themselves again. So there's a lot of problems with this card. Also, I wanted to mention really quickly, this card is basically like Retort. Let me go ahead and go into Retort. So Retort is a very similar card. This one is when your opponent activates a spell or trap card with the same name as in their graveyard, negate the activation if you and destroy that, and then you can add one card with that name from your graveyard to your hand. So if you use that card too, it can be pretty good. I've seen a lot of mixed feelings about this card in the community. I've seen a lot of people say this card is absolute garbage, and some people are like, dude, I want to main deck this card. It's pretty good to stop against some graveyard effects. I feel like it has a lot of downsides, though. I'm kind of more on the side, well, it's in the middle for me, but I would say it's more so just not a card I would personally main deck myself. Because, first off, your opponent has to activate that card, and then they have to try to activate like either another copy of it or that card in the graveyard. At that point, you might be at a disadvantage. It's a very slow card at the end of the day. It's very conditional upon its activation. Again, against certain decks, it could be good in the side deck. I'm not sure if I'm feeling this card, but you guys can let me know what you guys think about Critical Timing, as well as Transmutation Watt Kinesis. Again, I feel like they're a little bit conditional. They're not bad cards by any means, but I'm not sure if I would consider them main deck worthy, especially the Electronic card, because I feel like that is only conditional mostly to Link decks. Dude, I'm really excited about this other card, the Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. That's going to be a card, if I have extra room in my, extra deck, like I have in some decks, that could definitely be a good card. And I'm sorry, the picture is a little low quality here, but we'll get an updated picture. But that Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, I'm calling it right now, probably going to be secret rare, probably going to be one of those expensive cards, but looks pretty cool. I can't wait to see what people try to do with this card. I don't know if they're giving any other support for the Dark Magician on Dragon Knight. I know there was some support, like Ayatamias, and like it's a more fan servicey card collector kind of a deck. But anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts on anything that we talked below, and thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing some new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to see more new, fresh Yu-Gi-Oh cards as soon as they get released. I'm signing out.